Okay, please, everybody please move to your seats. We are starting in the next 2 minutes. Please settle down. Grab your speaking partner. Come and sit down.
Start. People are gonna sit. Yeah, sure. Better. Yes, better. I will be leaving in 10 minutes. You want me? Okay, start. Simran.
That off? And you're doing this, I'm doing this.
I'm not doing anything from this.
No. The same paper you're holding in your hand, I feel.
No, I'm not. You're not doing it.
This one?
Hi, everyone. Hi, here, the stage. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start. Sita ma'am. Everyone at the back, if you could just please be seated. I think our events are too engaging.
Start off? Oh, Sita ma'am is coming. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to one and all. I'm Simran and I'm the MC tonight for this beautiful evening. So true resilience lies in the courage to step out of the spotlight, to confront oneself with honesty and clarity. In those quiet, unseen moments, we discover the depth of what truly needs to be built. When we re-emerge, it's with purpose, shaped in silence, and strength forged in shadows. Today is a significant milestone representing the dedication and hard work our leadership team has invested over the past several months. We've undertaken a deep dive into understanding and reshaping what it truly means to support women entrepreneurs, especially within the unique challenges and opportunities of urban environments. Through countless hours of refining and reimagining our approach, we've honed a vision that brings practical, tailored support to these women leaders, equipping them to thrive and transform our communities. Today, we're proud to share this vision with you all. The first leadership dialogue is between two of the most inspiring leaders of WeHub. This dialogue isn't just about leadership. It's leadership with purpose, with empathy, and with a relentless drive to uplift women and give them a voice in every sector. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Vinuta Ralapalli, the dynamic Chief Strategic Advisor at WeHub, to the stage. Ms. Vinuta is a chartered accountant with a wealth of experience designing and delivering impactful programs for startups, investors, and the broader ecosystem. An expert in funding, she has guided countless entrepreneurs, offering mentorship grounded in a deep understanding of their needs. Her past leadership roles with state governments have strengthened her commitment to driving meaningful change. She believes that true impact comes from pure dedication to supporting entrepreneurs. Let's give her a warm welcome as she takes the stage.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for gracing us this evening. I really loved it that we were very reluctant to come, said that's a sign that we have, I think, succeeded in creating experientially, well, love personally, right? To come to places, you leave with a lot of beautiful memories. So thank you so much for enjoying what we have here. And it gives me great, so when she was supposed to introduce both of us, but I couldn't because I wanted to have the honor of introducing Sita myself. So please welcome our host of the evening, and personally one of my absolute favorite people, Sita Palachola, CEO of VHub, onto the stage. She is a true powerhouse and a powerhouse. She has spent 15 years building entrepreneurial ecosystems from Singapore to Hyderabad, with a career that started in 2009, founding an experiential learning venture to leading VHub today. She launched ventures, managed VC portfolios, worked with governments across India, Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. Welcome, Sita.
Travels. I think my team will agree. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Vinuta, for that, and for always pushing me to do things out of my comfort zone, one of which is standing on stage and talking to people, right? But thank you so much. It's such an honor and pleasure to stand before all of you this evening, simply because it's a special crowd. My favorite founders, women founders, inspiring women founders, are unwavering support systems. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Priya. You always show up, just a phone call and you always show up. Sujit, CEO T-Hub, Chairperson Fiki Flow Priya, Ma'am, Rajeshwari Ma'am, Aruna Ma'am, I think I'm most nervous because you're here. You've been my mentor for the longest time, right? Aruna Ma'am was with ISB and Department, and to friends who I call ecosystem partners, who are actually like family, thank you all. I'd like to extend a special thanks to the CEO of T-Works, Joginder, who's quietly standing there as always, and his team, who's made it possible for us to have this lovely evening for all of us to connect. Now, going to VHub. Some of you, well, shall I say, most of you know VHub. But for those who don't know VHub, or for those who have heard of VHub and have a couple of questions, I'd like to take this opportunity to speak to you a little about who we are, what we do, and what lies ahead. Right? So over the last 6 years, VHub has positioned itself as a state government-led incubator. So when we say that, we certainly did get some things right, but you know, there's always room for improvement. So we think because our interventions are so nuanced, because we work with women across the urban and rural areas, across different sectors, there are unique challenges and unique opportunities, and we cannot say we're just an incubator. There are many, many interventions that extend beyond. So, if I may share an example with you about what I'm saying, and it'll give you a better idea of why I'm saying we're just not an incubator, right? So exactly 72 hours before, at VHub, we had about 70 women, room full of women, who've traveled from 14 districts across rural Telangana and were part of a pre-incubation program. Now, the pre-incubation program was them to formalize businesses and all of that, right? But there was something important that happened. During the event, we realized there were several members women who had come for the program, who were widowed because they lost their husbands to suicide due to mounting debt. They're all farmers' widows. So it just so happened that our chief guest that day was the CEO of SERP and also Prajavani, which is a grievance redressal system by the government. So they quickly connected, And then they said, we're struggling to get pensions and all of that. So Ms. Divya very graciously quickly gave them time, and she's very dynamic IAS officer, and said, connect with me on 11 a.m. Friday or Monday, and we'll sort this out. Now I hear they have a WhatsApp group, not only helping their community, but across districts if anybody is struggling with pensions. So from learning about entrepreneurship to, providing support that extends beyond programs is what we are trying to build. And if you look around yourself now, contrast to that, we had a group of women from Hyderabad and across India, fabulous founders sharing the same space, but with different challenges and different ideas and different needs. So, and welcome to all of you, and I hope you've been having fun. So this sort of shows you the range of activities that we do. So before I go further, I'd like to acknowledge I was talking about these women, right? There's a social impact and entrepreneurship team at the back. They're the real warriors who are at districts, who are at the ground level, who do all the work, right? And of course, people who've gotten the urban innovation vertical, please put your hands up. So Akhila, Inu, Simran, Nadia, Taj, Nirmala, where are you? There you are, okay. So just like I mentioned all of them, now the idea is to grow into an ecosystem that supports women entrepreneurs really, right? So which is why we said we can't do this in isolation, and we must collaborate. And it's my favorite thing because it gives us so much strength, and that's why there are these faces that you're seeing who've traveled and come despite their tight schedules, just to say, we're there, don't worry, we'll make it happen. And like I've mentioned, along with ecosystem partners, and we call them our allies, associations that do similar work to ours. It's never a competition when we have aligned social goals. We can achieve more together. Anything I'm forgetting, Vinuta?
Please go on.
So that's what I wanted to present today, and thank you all once again, and good luck, congratulations on being a part of Propel. Vinuta, I'll leave you to...
This one?
For this one, because I think I've spoken enough, and I've gone through my bit, but these are some of the things that we are looking to sort of advocate along with everything else we're doing to support women entrepreneurs. So thank you all. Have a great magical evening. I only say magical evening because when you have so many women founders here, that's the only thing that happens. And for all the men who included themselves, thank you. Because the minute you say it's a women founder cohort, automatically everybody jumps on the other side. I'm like, no, thank you. So it's all yours, Vinita.
Thank you so much, Sita. As usual, you're leaving me alone on the stage. I wish you stayed longer, but I get it. So, thank you so much. I would just like to elaborate a little bit more on that collaboration point. Me and Sita have a lot of debates, pre-work, post-work, late into the night, saying this is not just our problem, it's the world's problem to solve. So let's bring everybody together. I think that's where really the strength is. WeHub will do what WeHub is meant to do, but it is when every one of our allies also comes together for these common goals. Some of the things that we think, I will go a little deeper into the programs, but before that, just some of the that's all right, I'll go through this first. So some of these initiatives are something which is like an underlying thing across our program. So we'll ensure that these kind of are taken care of. We might have specific initiatives, for example, empowering women to rejoin the workspace. So Annie is in the crowd, but Annie leads our We Enable program, which I'll talk about a little bit. But in that program, we are trying to encourage women who are on a work break to come back, join at least as a mentor, to get started, to get excited about getting out and working with people again. So we're trying to include these as part of the programs itself. And in some cases, we have specific programs. For example, enabling funding debt and credit linkages. So that brings me to a very special announcement a little later in the evening. Next slide, please. So broadly, what is it that we are trying to do? One is, the first objective is that, okay, this generation, we all know the stats, not very appealing. 5% women at leadership, 2% of the total venture capital goes to women. We have heard this. But how do we change this, at least for the generations to come? The first thing is to probably enable skill and really empower the next generation of girls, not just about entrepreneurship, but to find their calling and follow through with it, to pick up science, to pick up technology, to work towards their goals without having the conditioning issues that at least our generation had. I hope it's changing, and we, with We Enable program, want to quicken that pace. So that's a program that we are very excited. We've launched with a few colleges right now. I'll go in a little depth later. The second program is We Engage, in which we have 3 separate programs again. This is basically this crowd, where this is a program to enable startups at any stage, whether you are just in idea stage, early growth stage. What you see today is Propel, which is our early growth stage program. The final one is We Elevate. This is, you have gone beyond the stage of maybe early funding and are now scaling. So this actually came when I met a lot of women entrepreneurs, and I'm sure a lot of your friends or you resonate with this problem, that they reach a certain stage and then they kind of hit a wall. They don't shut down the business, neither are they willing to really push it through and go to the next level. So those stage companies, whether they're MSMEs or whether they're startups, we work with them under We Elevate with very, very customized, specific interventions. There's no cohort model in that, but just actually work with them on the ground. So this is the overall, this is how, kind of we frame the entire tree for the urban innovation programs. Next one, please. So We Enable, like I was saying, I'm very, very excited about this. This came from the, my personal story I keep saying is that I started with BIPC, went on to MPC, did CA, then ended up in the startup ecosystem. Absolutely no resonance amongst any of these things that I've done. So maybe if very early in life I knew that this is my calling, I would have probably, stuck to that, right? So this came from that thing that at that age we all know, actually 19, 20, we kind of know what our skills are. We fully developed adults by then. So this is at that stage in their journey where they come in, they figure out what are their strengths, they talk to their mentors, figure out what's the path that they want to take, and they actually have very structured program for about 9 months that will give them a core set of skills, as well as give live experience of about 6 months through internships or through live projects. So there are the 2 tracks again in this. One is through towards entrepreneurship, and one is towards job. So this is a program that we've currently launched. Annie, if I can see you somewhere, please. So Annie there leads the We Enable program. So she is already onboarded 7 to 10 colleges. It's a lot of hard work, this one. And of course, we are seeing a lot of excitement from the colleges, much more than we expected. So we're very happy to see that. Again, only for girl students. The next program is, like I said, this is my favorite graph all the time. So this program we have all seen, we all have multiple versions of this. As incubators, we all do the same thing, but this specific cohorts that we have, we are very glad to have Ankit and Sangamitra here. We have partnered with Vadvani Foundation for running both the Propel and the Spark programs. So again, coming back to collaboration, we feel the biggest power is to come together and solve one common problem. So they have already built beautiful curriculums and have built programs in the space. So we have partnered with them. We have put our layer of offline boot camps, of which you are seeing the first of today, which will kind of enable network, access to money, and access to markets. So it's a combination of both, like the best of the both worlds. But I think nothing can be done without the proper mentoring. So thanks to all the mentors who are in the crowd. Big thank you to all of you for supporting our first cohort of Propel. Next, please. Yeah, this again, like I said, We Elevate program. This is a shout out to everybody in the crowd. I'm sure you will come across startups who ask you for this. So if it's a women startup, please feel free to, kind of push them our way on this. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to collaborating with each one of you in all of these initiatives. Like, we are very happy to have this cohort. We have 2 more programs in the offing. One is Spark, which is our early stage program, and one is Flint, which is our idea validation program. So, anytime you come across founders or people with ideas, please ask them to look up VHub. Thank you so much. So before I go, I would like to just recount a small anecdote. One of the first female boss, I think she is the first female boss I worked with in a very, very brief stint in about 1.5 months during my time in Titan in 2010. I reported to her, and a lot of my style of I think my style of leadership or whatever I've learned in the initial days, you were an inspiration, and I used to think someday I'm going to become like hers. So thank you so much, ma'am, for coming today and gracing us here. Please welcome Rajeshwari, ma'am.
So, little out of order, but we are honored to invite Ms. Rajeshwari Srinivasan, CEO of Fab India, for the women who leads.
And thanks, Sita, for a, right? Then consumer products. Then I was selling bulk tea and coffee. Then I was selling watches and jewelry, right? I think you know it, and you're reminding everybody, saying, been there, done that, had 2 failures. Now let me show you success. A lot of women, as I know, women entrepreneurs have had, right? So right now,
Pushing boundaries and redefining what's possible in the startup ecosystem. Moderated by our own Ms. Vinuta Ralapalli, this session, Startups and Government with Seamless Precision. Known for his meticulous attention to detail and a knack for getting things done, Mr.
Throughout the week, irrespective of where you are, I get calls from 12:30. See, look at Joginder working even now. So this beautiful venue, this is here, you know, fixing everything and, you know, doing everything. You've been an entrepreneur yourself. And being here and being with founders, helping them build their prototypes must be incredibly rewarding. And as you think during your term you want to do and, you know, leave it as a legacy here, what would that be?
Yeah, and it's so nice to see so many women founders and more importantly, you know, women of all abilities and capability. Again for the question. So actually the one thing I would really like to look back once, you know, as a legacy, as she puts it, is if I'm able to create 40,000 prototyping specialists across the entire state, not just in Hyderabad. So when I convert an idea into a physical prototype, that is what I'm looking at, you know. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like VHub will become redundant and it stream. What are your thoughts on that?
So, you can hear me? But they never end in any, you know, one become redundant and, you know, we don't need them anymore. That's what I say. But then when you ask me what is the timeline to it, I really don't know. There's so many things I think that we keep addressing. Leader, or you could be an entrepreneur. There's so much overlap when it comes to women, right? And so many things that we need to address that I think until we become a more inclusive society, more open society, and we have allies championing for us, we achieve that as a whole, yeah.
Thank you so much, Sita. We will keep searching for that answer. Found a problem, went about solving it in your own isolation, and I love your the state very soon. I wanted to understand from you, how do you make something like rural innovation, which is not very fast?
Okay, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that on top of my mind. And that's, I think, part of my DNA, how it's made up. When I first started, did coding bootcamp, people told me you're stupid to do a coding bootcamp in India, where, especially in Hyderabad, where you have right? So, I mean, I can't hear excuses, or I can't get deaf to, these naysayers. And that's one thing that led me to do whatever I did, right? Since 2011, I guess. So I can't hear that, I can't see that, and I keep going with that. And in fact, my first stint with TS, I say about 6 lives, right? And which was something that I did as a biotech engineer in India in 2000. One thing led to another, and it happened. And I believed India's top resource is its human resource. And if you're not tapping into that, then we are doing something wrong. We are leaving a lot on the table, right? Which is something was kind enough to let me do whatever I wanted to do. And that's founders, out of it 66% are women. Without me or my team, without any one of us doing anything special, going out of our way to, identify them, attract them, or, encourage them, nothing. Find themselves for giving themselves that chance, right? So I can't take 1 ounce of credit out of that, right? So I think it's sheer belief in, what needs to be done and just going about it. I don't think there will be anything like fancy innovation. There is innovation and there is not. And that's about it, in my very humble opinion.
Thank you. That is the highest any incubator except VHub can claim. So that deserves, maybe not for you, but for
Before Sita came in, I used to say Adventure Park has more women founders than VHub.
I hope I've changed.
the new Charminar I've heard has changed location, and it's just, kind of moved to. I have been part of T-Hub myself, and I know that there's like a balance where you between the grind and the glamour. So how does it work for you as someone who's leading it? What are the challenges?
Setup that I've heard, and I'm going to hijack this question and I'm going to come back to this shortly. I hope there will be that change where women will become equal partners, etc. I don't think that's correct. The change women entrepreneurs that are sitting here, it's amazing. And then on the percentages, I know you are 100%, we are almost 42% women-led T-Hub organization. Not bad, considering, most of the corporates or anywhere you find, they are far lesser, and they keep talking about it, saying that they want to improve. So coming back to your question, we get close to 2.5 lakh footfalls into T-Hub. Has so many. So we may be number 1 and it may be number 2. So yeah, so please check. This second's on 4 pillars only, the 10 floors building. Now so much for the glamour part. Now honestly, what we are, if we just stick to the glamour quotient, right? So just to throw some numbers at you. Since last 9 years, we just celebrated our 9th anniversary. We have actually incubated, accelerated close to 2,500 startups. Now, so the number in perspective, the building itself has got about 500 plus startups. Nowhere in the world we have that kind of number of startups. It's a large congregation, making it one of the largest, or rather world's largest innovation. The cutting edge products, platforms and technologies have been built over time. In the last 9 years. In fact, as we speak, there are about 40 to 50 innovation programs that we are running with the corporates to market test their products through these connections with the corporates. But one of our biggest strengths, and I'm sure Sita building this as well, I heard you say that you also have mentors, that are supporting. One of our biggest support, biggest backbone, these, who are sitting here in the front rows, who support the ecosystem many times pro bono, supported as interventions. We have value partners, we have VCs, a large group of network of angels that are supporting the ecosystem. But all in all, it don't deliver value to the corporates. I don't think this glamour would last even few insight. But yeah, sorry, long answer, but I thought I'll clear the mist.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know how much I love. The point is just exactly that, right? There's a lot of grind that happens inside, so just wanted us all to know about it. Great. Going back to you, actually this question is for everybody. This is a common question, so anybody can start with this. From each of your unique perspectives, what's that one thing that you think has to happen so that we enter into a world where more women entrepreneurs come into the system? Maybe it's a policy change, maybe it's better funding support, whatever you think is one thing that you think can change things.
Let's ask the men first.
Yeah, so actually I would just like to bring a small incident to your notice. So when my daughter, she's 9 now, so when she was about 4 years old, she came to me with a hanger and she said, Papa, look, I'm an inventor, this is a Wi-Fi antenna. It will increase your Wi-Fi signal. Of course, I didn't know how she understood about Wi-Fi signal and so on. But I really believe that to increase, and to encourage women entrepreneurship, we have to start young and we have to enable little girls to understand that they can also invent and they can also be part of a bigger invention cycle, then we get the ideas which help in production. Yeah, thank you.
And if I could segue, so back in 2013-14 when we started the Angel Summit, right? It was a platform to showcase role models, women role models. You could be an athlete, you could be a politician, you could be a businesswoman, you could be a radio jockey, you could be anything, right? And we said if the next generation sees more role models, female role models, then you automatically create that aspiration and that success is accessible. It's not just Indira Nooyi who can be, a role model. So more role models, please. Arna ma'am, you know this. When we came to you, you were the first one to support our idea. We led the first one in ISB when nobody was talking about it, like you said. And somebody joked to me and then said, what, are you going to have a big kitty party? And I said, yeah, I'll show you all the members. So there was, Swati Lakra, then commissioner, then there was head of private equity, Goldman Sachs, Lavanya Ashok, then there was all these, there were IAS officers, there were sportswomen, and there were stand-up comedians who were women. Vasu Primlani, we took that all over the country and, it came sort of to a natural end after the pandemic. But when you have female role models, then you build an entire generation of conscious youngsters, men and women, girls and boys included. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Female role models, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, that one. But there's one thing that I keep telling, my founders at my incubator, that women are special, there's no doubt about it. Okay, the resilience, the perseverance, the sheer persistence in women. Men give up like too soon, right? There's a lot that can be, talked about. So when God made you special, don't fight for equal is what I keep saying, right? And 99% of the times, at least in my tiny little experience, what I've experienced is there's one little, devil in your mind which holds you back from, doing things. I think women need to work on that one. There are a lot of times when nobody actually cares about, what you should do, what you should not do and all of that, but it's in your head, right? That's stopping you from doing it. That's stopping you, log kya kahenge, whether I should be doing that or not, should I pursue that idea or not, I might get funded or not. Why will people fund me? Do I have the required skills or not? That self-doubt, we need to eliminate that, right? At least in my, like I said, tiny little experience working with, brilliant, smart women, this is something that I've realized, right? 99% of the times I had to tell them, this is absolutely powerful, dangerously powerful. You should just go about it. And they're like, maybe I'm not sure, right? I'm like, what the hell? Who's stopping you?
That's years and years of social conditioning.
100%, right?
Generational trauma.
Which is where,
Generational trauma.
100%, and which is where my second point comes into picture, the family support, right? Without family support, be it men or women, you're not going to make it happen, right? And especially entrepreneurship requires extreme amounts of, support dosages 3 times a day or more than that for you to continue working on that before you see something happening, right? Even for that to sprout, it takes years, right? So, and I'm so happy to see that all of that changing, right? Starting from local influencers, going on to, the success stories, and then, the family support, people going out and about, supporting, women and everybody with ideas, right? And wanting to do it for themselves, for the community, for the state, and eventually, contributing to the country. It is happening in small, tiny little steps, but now with, all these brilliant programs that you guys are doing, I don't think anybody can stop this now from happening.
Thank you for saying that, Miraj. I keep having that conversation a lot. I think self-doubt is like a passed on generational thing to us. We are working on it, but maybe one more generation before it finally goes. Sujit, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I just extend that. I think a lot of mindsets need to change. That's what has not been happening adequately enough. Look at another set of statistics. If you look at the 10th standard results, right, in Telangana at least, most of the, toppers are girls. Take 12th standard, most of the toppers are girls, probably even in top 10 as well. But somewhere as the time progresses, there is some mindsets that play out which actually cause this issue. In fact, funny thing is now of late, if you get into any of the city buses, you need to have reservation for men to have seats, right? So otherwise you're not getting space. So I'm sure that's one mindset change that's happening slowly. Otherwise you used to find reserved for women, right? So I think that is the tougher part. And probably we continue to, work together on this, and hopefully very soon those changes will also happen. That will be the true change, to be precise.
It's more like a societal change, not just the women's mindset, but the men. I think that's also very, very critical. We always have this joke that this generation men are not really equipped to handle very empowered women. So that's something that I think it's changing slowly, and hopefully we'll see it a lot more. Thank you so much for all of your thoughts. Great role models, mindset change, and more importantly, that biases and fear that we have. I think all great points. Thank you so much. Before we, so we wanted to keep the next round very fun, and it's for the rapid. This is not where we want the reservation. So we have some rapid fire questions. You first. You have your mic. Okay. One Hyderabad street food you can't live with. One thing outside of your work gives you the most satisfaction.
I think it's going to be perfect, so just keep launching and keep moving. Thank you.
Awesome. You're given a time machine and you can meet any innovator from any time period, from the intro. But thanks again, Ilyas, for giving me that cute intro. Not surprised, please. Why should I be something else?
Used to be Nilofer, but not anymore now.
One piece of advice you would have given your younger, take any leader with you. Who would you take, past and present?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Thank you. Yeah, I know. But I think the hammer can be given with
You made my day.
Come. Yeah? Or ain't no mountain high enough. what I said about men quickly excluding themselves from, like, I've seen HRs having some posh trainings and everything. Suddenly the men will be like, out. If I'd be a millionaire. You got the hamper. Mine and, you know, marketing skills, and that's been my biggest Achilles. So maybe Oprah Winfrey, because then she'll just do all the,
yes.
to do all the talking and I can do all the work and be...
Wow, okay. That we didn't expect. Your go-to mantra when things get tough.
Get what?
Get tough. You're still working on improving.
Actually, there are many. Actually, there are many books. Recently, somebody gifted me a book on.
We have a winner, Sita Palajola.
Thank you so much.
All know one of the biggest challenges women have is we have a...
1 second, sorry. May I call upon Aruna ma'am, Priya? We need to have more women on stage. Forgive me. Hi.
Anybody from the investment world, please join on stage with
From
us.
India, from...
Access to capital is one of the biggest problem that we have. So, Sita and all of you, please unveil her. Joining us on stage. Thank you. Now we will...
Okay. Yeah. Can we? Thank you. Please. Thank you.
We just want you to enjoy the logo too, so after you disembark, we will do that.
You should have been on stage.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been like...
So please pay attention to the screen. Here is Found Her. Thank you so much.
Another person who's been working behind scenes, Kiran, please get up, because you always do the work and you're worse than me. You never are. So our biggest appetite probably, when I say partner in crime in building platforms for women entrepreneurs, way before it was fashionable, Kiran was there behind all of it. So thank you, Kiran, for being our biggest champion, supporter, ally, everything. Perfect. Thank you.
Back to Simran.
So, proceeding into the evening, now I'd like to invite Ms. Nirmala, the Associate Director for Urban Innovation at We Engage Propel, to the stage. With over a decade of experience in product marketing and brand building, Ms. Nirmala's expertise is invaluable. Under her leadership, the Vadwani Liftoff We Engage Propel offers a transformative 12-week high-impact program designed specifically for early growth stage women entrepreneurs. Nirmala ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Simran. Very warm welcome again to all the delegates for this special evening. Before we start, yes, we had like a splendid evening so far. Before we reveal about the program, cohort, details and everything, we wanted to start acknowledge our special partners for this program, design and execution, Vadwani Foundation. It's a small brief. In September 2024, we have partnered with Vadvani Foundation to embark on a groundbreaking mission aimed to empowering women entrepreneurs. Together, we have launched exclusivations. Today, we are proudly and officially announce our first cohort, incredible group of 21 women-led businesses here. I'd like to request Vadvani team to have a special address on our partnership.
That in the last, the experience has been overwhelming. I really don't have words. Launched with WE Hub today. So Vadvani Foundation, currently we have 500 startups and adding 21 more to it today, and worked with have come onto the platform and have been super successfully gone through the boot camp that they had today. So much for having us, and I'll pass it over to Ankit, who had conveniently passed over the mic to me.
2100 next year, along with WeHub. That's our commitment.
Tajdar Ali and Nehla and Inu for all the support and make this happen today, along with the founder of Breaker, Livina Joyce, founder of Chilmal.
Applause for everybody who has made it to the cohort. A big applause to you all. It is a pleasure already working with each one of you.
Archana, can you please wave off, Archana? Yeah. Avantika Sahib. No, we have a few more. Neeta Sachin. Thank you so much, guys, making a special day. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Vadek. We have a bunch of games that we have planned outside for you. I think the